Hi guys, just cruising through the English countryside today. Yeah, I like to get out of London every now and then and just have a bit of a drive around. Some of the places you'll see today, I'll be heading to a place called Beer, literally like the beverage, and just all along the southern coast. And I think this is great for people to see because a lot of people are sort of, I mean, especially Americans, you know, I'm sorry, just readjusting here. They don't, they don't have this sort of urban built traditional beauty, you know. I lived in the United States for a while, also Canada, and it's the built environment is a sort of an assault on the senses. I mean, you drive through these strip malls, they all have only rectangular shapes. There's no organic roundness. And then you have these hideous wires, you know, like power lines just to the horizon. In Europe in general, power lines are buried in the streets, so you don't have this sort of chaos going on above your head. And then you just have all these neon signs in America, and sorry, just had to reset here. And it's yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I was going on about the sort of neon signs. It's just driving through an American suburb, like a strip mall, is. Gee, I mean, there's nice places in the United States, but the cities, the built environment often is quite ugly, and it's quite a capitalist, just utilitarian, throwaway mall, just wilderness. And I experienced it as an assault on the senses, like a degradation of beauty, a degradation of the built environment, what we are presented with every day. So, I mean, London itself has lots of beautiful buildings, but it's a multicultural international city that you're dealing with a lot of stresses. There's something soothing about a nice old European village. There's something, thousands of years of just traditional building and human scale that just, it's healing for me. And I just wanted to share that to you guys, with you guys. Sorry, I just had to pull over again here. Yeah, so, and you'll see, you know, as I drive it down into the town center here, there's just a wholesome character. That there's just something humane and human and decent about traditional European towns and villages. And I find, especially in the UK, they're fantastic. But you have quite similar places in the Czech Republic, in France, in Germany, especially southern Germany. You know, I mean, obviously when you get into Switzerland and Austria, you have incredible, cute mountain villages. In England, it's often centered around the sea, so a lot of these places are sort of old fishing villages. And you know, they also have lots of agriculture. Southern England here is very agriculturally rich. It rains a lot. It's quite warm. If you look at a map, it's actually fairly far south here, you know, compared to Denmark or lots of Germany, Holland, etc. This is literally the southern coast of England, and yeah, sure, it's not built around the car, right? I mean, you can see I'm not making a lot of progress here. It's slow, but people can walk. There's this beautiful environment here. This is just human scale living, you know. This place probably has a population of, with some of the outlying towns and little sort of farmsteads, and maybe around 10,000, maybe 20,000. I don't know. I can look it up later. And you have here just the Atlantic down there to the right, and just some beautiful British pubs. I mean, for me, this is just you can sense it in my voice. It's almost love, and I think this is what nationalism is about, right? Like, and that's why I think capitalism and some of the modern corporatist, globalist way of building, like the lack of art form, beauty and care for your own built environment that you have in modern. Just had to pull over here again. Sorry, that you had in modern cities in big cosmopolitan towns. It disconnects you from your own environment, and I think it's bad for your. I'm gonna have to stop here. Yeah, that was just yeah. So it disconnects you from your own heritage, really, and so I have a lot of hope for the villages and towns around Europe. There are still many of these places all over Europe, and even though it's becoming hollowed out slowly, I think, as opposed to the United States, as opposed to America, where you just have these strip malls with power cables that go to the horizon, it's just flat, bland, apart from Boston, and there are in the East Coast obviously some nice places, but the majority of America is not even close to what you're seeing here. I see more resistance growing in Europe to losing this. I mean, can you imagine this town being an Arab town? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine no British people being here anymore? A multicultural town, all you have here is Indians and Chinese and Arabs and Africans. I mean, it's almost unthinkable. But demographically, that is where we're heading. So yeah, it makes me think. Driving through these villages, I think we still have hope.